Once upon a time, there was a retired 70-something speech pathologist with a PhD in anthropology who had stayed interested in anthropology practically her whole life. And she ended up writing a book, Our Beleaguered Species, Beyond Tribalism.
One was on the universe, and the other one was on the brain. And I was hooked the minute I went into class.
The Lifelong Learning Institute.
I was asking a lot of questions, meeting a lot of really people who were really interested in a lot of these questions that I was. I went sort of full force back into anthropology again, even though I hadn't left it completely. And so that was the beginning. Our ancestors, and then all of us, in fact, even after we developed into full Homo sapiens, were hunters and gatherers. The groups of hunter-gatherers that we know something about, whose way of life may have been similar in that they did not create surpluses. Part of the ethos of that time period seemed to be generosity. It was everything needed to be shared. I mean, it was a matter of survival. We can learn from even the fact that almost everybody in the group contributed to decision making, and that includes the women. And so there is hope. Eventually, I thought, well, maybe I'll write. In fact, some people suggested, well, maybe you could write some of this down. Well, I decided I'd write some essays. Once I started doing that, the book kind of evolved. And at this point, I had I was into the writing of these essays in this book, and it was sort of coming out as evolutionary ethics. And so I taught a course on evolutionary ethics. The book was on its way at that time. I think we are in grave danger. We may be on the road to commit Anthropocide. Groups warring each other, they're not only destroying each other and each other's artifacts, they're destroying the earth itself because it takes a lot of resources to run a war. We're willing to destroy them and destroy trees and people and houses and all kinds of things, art, in order for our group to somehow get on top. I wanted to show how we humans came to be who we are today, and how we developed the characteristics that make us human, and how that is affecting who we are today and what's going on in the world today. You want me to sign it, Liz?
I want you just the way you would normally sign it.
Well, I'm going to just put Liz.
In her book, Zelman gives an inspiring recipe for getting beyond tribalism.